Hey there, mateys. This is Discovery Scouts of Pirates of the Caribbean film series here. Welcome back to the Pirates of the Caribbean movie madness today. Welcome back to the Pirates of the Caribbean movie madness today. Woohoo! Well, next month, October 4th, Disney's digital Blu-ray and DVDs on September 19th. Digitals. I used it about watching over the every curse, every pirates, all pirates in fear, Diane must fear. So today is Saturday, the first day of September, September 2nd, 2017. So not on 2016, 2017. So this is Bella's not here today. So she'll come back to tell about Thursday. She she's still helping my mom for each other. So we could talk about the Demon Town of Tales openings of a season a day in the mid 1742. So young Henry Turner leaving his mother from her lighthouse. So he started to the rowboat to see his father every curse of the Flying Dutchman. So he ties up with the left foot to throwing down the rocks. Besides, he jumped over from the boat to under the water. And there's a lot of underwater ghost ships, and seeing it up there is mostly see like the curse of the Flying Dutchman. He could pound it to the ship, the mutineers. It's sort of like it about see his father. He was sort of really like it about the sea turtle's first mate. He reasoned what he could about him flies over back in the sea to free from the fleet to his Dutchmen. So Hans Zimmer's reaction, Gore Verbinski's, Jerry Bruckheimer films, Terry Rossios, Ron Marshall's, and Gio Sinelli plays as in complete scores, complete recordings, and soundtrack today at the specials, original extended cut of the day. So also they have composition to have fulfilling reactions. The things about the reactions. So opening titles on 1742. Sorry about that. So Will Turner see his son. She came out for the younger. He has 12 years old. He was compromisation to leave his ship to his cursed crew problem there. Sea Turtles there. It looks like the Cursed Wanderers has the Dutchman pirates doing here. He would seemingly look like about Will Turner's curse, looking like about the bootstrap Bill Turner. He was just look like seemingly about the captain of the Flying Dutchman, who was saying about the opportunity for communicating. So Will Turner has about a couple missions. So he mentioned that already there about saying goodbye there, but the Dutchman goes back down to the bottom of the sea, and he goes back down from a land of the dead to saying goodbye for his son. Hemming's father says goodbye. It was here them for a long time. So Henry knows about the Captain Jack Sparrow to freedom, to the quest for this trident of Poseidon, to every curse of the sea. So that was the last year for the 1741 Will Turner supernatural powers to letting by the trident Poseidon look like about the humanity. When the trident curse on the cursed crews and the Flying Dutchman, and supernaturals on Devil's Triangle curse Salazar and his crew and the Silent Mary. So he goes back to water to seemingly to find out for the Jack Sparrow. So he would doing himself a few 9 years later. In the mid 1751, after the quest of the Fountain of Youth was completed, Henry Turner joins in the formerly of British Royal Navy. Captain Tom's, lieutenant officers, and the redcoats and the crewmen, and on the board of the Monarch, the British warship, and the galleon. and chasing over to the ruddy roads, the Dutch bark, and this is not the pirate galleon. This is a pirate Dutch barque. Looking for the same about sailing through inside there in the dark caves in there. Um, it looks like seemingly look like about the triangle window mirror. Um, there are lots about the chasing the notorious pirates in the crew led by Captain Bonnet. It looks like about the time looks about 105 crew on the size. Um, it looks like seemingly about 86 guns, and including over about 88 guns like XX, like later by John Scarfield mentioned that. It was the first time. Tom has goes in when the Ruddy Rose was fate and destroyed by the Devil's Triangle to let Salazar to kill every pirate in the sea, to kill all the pirates crew, and having much conversation problem so that they can't go into the Devil's Triangle. They get have to turn around, but he says no. He's gonna arrest it in chasing, punching, and fighting, and he knocked out his nose in the head, and the Redcoats throw down the Henry's brig, and one of the old guys just look at it to the paper for Jack Sparrows for the mutineers. It's just a long stories, and when Monarch just sales came in on today, Exceptions turns into the dark, so when the Devil's Triangles has to stop for Monarch. So Dutch Spark, the Ruddy was destroyed by the Devil's Triangle, was on the shipwreck. It wasn't a seemingly the like a same like about the seagulls was turned into the cursed bird. It would hear that so loud, it turns into the night of the fog, and the one of the something under there, running on the water. There looks like seemingly about the 80 about warship has the guns ready to the cannon fire, and they were ambushing for the ships. All the crewmen was killed by Salazar and the crewmen from Spanish Royal Navy. But the sentence about the letters and Mark looks about on the scenes about opening titles there. Have me look up there for the crewman was blood, and Captain Tom's crew for the access crew was dead. He was blood dropping into the floor in the brig. He was tripping to falling back down, hearing it, and he step down, and he takes a look at it with his, the sword or cane, and he was never seen about 51 years ago. Salazar says Jack Sparrow, revenge of the notorious pirate around the world, around the Caribbean. Henry confronts by Salazar and his crewmen wasn't on the curse by the triangle. They were contempting us to find new Sparrow for him. He was remaining us for the Captain Salazar and tell it to his death. Yeah, he says he could say that to him for Henry, for Captain Jack is on the way to the island of St. Martin, to letting the fog and the Devil's Triangle to burn the sunk Monarch to the sank in the ocean floor. The logo of the scenes of the fifth film was on the videos about the reactions. 2 days later, St. Martin, Caribbean, in the same time about the seas, when the Karina was seemingly the witch, he kicked out to the priest guy. She just ran away escape from the cells, and she could hide and seek, led by Lieutenant hunting around the witch woman. she was kind of about particular, about particular one of the celebration to the housing holes around the buildings. And there's one of the cabins there on the box. There's on from bottle ships. Then bank of robbery steals there by notorious pirate. It would seem to like it about the opening the closet doors, and the Dix and his wife Frances and kissing over led by Jack Sparrow was sleeping with drink and drunk. He's been slept in about for the last year. Slept in about for last 50 minutes. With Jack Sparrow slept in the money with Francis. So she kind of about furious. One of the people of the Red Coast just formerly dislikes pirate, and Jack Sparrow's seemingly who will like it, who will dislike it. I hope they're same unless it be not, and it's kind of about silly about around. He's going to the get it ready fire, and with the flintlock muskets, he just escaped. He just moved into the house. He just almost dropped all of the monies. He was just suggesting John Scarfield and the lieutenant officers to arrest Karina the witch, and Jack gives Marty, Jib, Maddox, and Ballard was chasing around by redcoats with horse. One of the kind about the same bank robbery to escaping from St. Martin Part 1. That's where exactly has supposed to that means. Karina Jack, someone supposed to do No Women's Are Allowed. Their designer on an astronomer for went up for the quest to the red crystals, brightest in the stars. One of the kind about the spyglass guy was that dude's just like girl thing like the woman did. It wasn't that dude. It wasn't that exactly what it has supposed to that means. So I kind of really like this guys. Wanted continuing to escaping for Jack and Karina just also running around to get out of here, and he pushed Karina down into the farm and she says filthy pirates, and a lot of officers firing with the pistol to almost kill Karina, and Jack was jumping down to the top of the roof in the house was one of the robbery did, and they blocked the way like St. Martin's fortress. It just rumbled to slow motion like all the nations, but he jumped down the top of the closet doors, and to go back to the pirate small ships as Diango. There are no money left. There's only one coin that are left. Scrum, Gibbs, Marty, Jib, Maddox, and Ballard lost his crew. Lost Jack Sparrow's crew. He could find the payments to this debt. Jack lost his crew, and Gibbs, Marty, Jib, Scrum, Ballard, and Maddox just leaving from Jack Sparrow, and Jack put the black pearl in the bottle there beside it to get it saved. Excuse me. Sorry about that. It was a walking towards through anywhere. When Gibbs says goodbye, he was dismissed. When Jack says, "I'm sorry, Jack," we'll meet again the later. So Henry was arrested and the rest in the medical center, and John Scarfield has his job, and Henry lost his job from British Royal Navy from attacking for the attack on Monarch. he recently could write about it was a sacrificing themselves, and Karina was a the medication disguise. She tells about the story for Henry Turner to get his break his curse from his father. She will get about communicating. She'll like it that he says it could have about most believe it about opening the title of things. Well, and that's where exactly is what she means to. She has to slow us down as many as they can. She can fall for the difficult. She says, I should have the belief that she could. What she says. She can imagine that. She'll try to kind of work on it to do on someday. So someday I was sort of have a Karina escaped from the Red Coast thing from the Magic Centers. She was under arrest, and Henry's escape was shocky. The wanted to do was running around outside the window there was escaped, and he finds the last one for cowards. When Jack's walking in the rain, back in the same Martin around the building, but he climbed out there. He looked right into the Red Coast, just hunting around someone's pirate. He's just standing, shaking around to fell over to the dirt thing like a pig. He goes into the tavern, wanted to get his drink, to pay with his compass. To the rumbling for the Devil's Triangle was destroyed. Silent Mary and Salazar and his queen was free, and the hunting pirates in their ships. And he tries to stop him. One of the guys did. He says, "Pirate's life." He goes back outside. He shot by the red coat dude. He just confronts by the jibs for Captain Jack Sparrow goes into the cell's jail. For he looks at it by Henry Turner was being washed. And the sailing of the seas. So one of the pirate ships on this white sails as Red Dragon. Bowen is still there about the last 51 years ago. Long time, about 51 years ago, longer time. So Bowen was older than the pirate there. He was aboard from the Black Pearl to Red Dragon. He seemingly liked to see gold there. Was standing around in the mutineers. He just looked to the right and left there. That was to the left side of the Silent Mary was ready to crush over to the Red Dragon, to the Eden and the half of the ship. He was freaking out. He was signed screeching. He was open out over like a jaw, like Charybdis, Kraken, and giant Pacific octopus, and serpent, and the great white sharks, and megalodon, and mosasaurs. And he goes to the break over the half of the ship once first is sunk. And Karina backs in the sails prisoners in the jail. As she rides under the wall, there was sun turns into the red, like the red crystals, to release the power of the seas, and shine the brightest upon the stars. She has read the book there under there like a opening title. To seeing about Henry's Red Coast disgust was finding over for Jack Sparrow. To the revenge over by Salazar did. He was that look like about some ridiculous. Henry means Jack Sparrow from his sons Will Turner and Elizabeth Swan from Jamaica and Port Royal. He was born at Jamaica thing from Port Royal. He was a pirate for none of the Spanish and British. Henry has a pirate. He was thinking about the Will Turner's thing, so seeing about Jack Sparrow. But Jack say, "Who are you?" He says, "My name is Henry Turner, son of Will Turner and Elizabeth Sell." He says, "Ew." That's how his mom did. He said, how is he? He said, so far, so good. He was so kind, free and contagious, free and most do, really most unexperienced do. Maybe Jax could be talk about the Spanish Royal Navy's troop over during the Battle of the Devil's Triangle to the mid 1700s, 17th century, and the Pirates Day. His father and his grandfather and his father was killed by the 17th century in the pirates, and to revenge Jack Sparrow, to last one to kill killed by the Salazar did. He has to record. He has to decide to coming to revenge him. In the night of the party on the Queen Anne's revenge, same as in the format of the Black Pearl, Malloy the Murtaugh goes back upstairs to the from claiming the Blackbeard's cabin to new cabin as Hector Barbosa, listening to the violin to the music. He got the musket shots over to running out of here, and to get the bad news today. He says the red dragon was sunk and destroyed by the Silent Mary. He says Captain Salamander. No, he says Salazar. Salazar, he confirmed. He says no idea. He has no idea about destruction of his fleet. He walked back over to see Shansa, the sea witch, to see me about over that the homeless did. So one to think about Jack stinging about particular. Barbosa knew his fleet was destructible by the pirate hunters. Silent Mary was destroyed. Silent Mary was carrying fire, was flammable onto the seas on the night, and it would have think Barbosa did. Shanshon's shock gave it his Jack's compass to deal with the dead, and to Jack realizing goes to the guillotine to meet Uncle Jack and his brother Edward Teague. Well, his father was ever be safe in his life, nothing less fate. He says, be safe there. You will go to the Trident do to search it over for the Black Rock Island. That's what he did. He says Uncle Jack say goodbye, and probably he goes to the guillotine of his life, but probably his further fate. And Karina was hanging by the neck with its net, and cutting the man's head. They have no idea about the hanging until about all of the bad persons, bad peoples, bad guys. They raged over the crew of the Diangle, helped by Henry Turner did. It seemed less over that Karina's resulted in the argument to say it's quiet and silenced. She's not a witch, she is an astronomer. That astronomer on the beautiful girl that seems about the world. When Henry's distracted all of the peoples in red coats, and they fight over the shoulders, and they have to stop him. And he says, fire. The one cannon on the left was destroyed, the guillotine's almost aside. Swing up and down, to straight back there to right side for almost to cut Jack's head. It just literally destructible. It just escaped from St. Martin Part 2. He was just fight to the soldiers. He just payment for Henry and Karina was the Diangles and prisoners. To free Diangles to the small pirate ship was free. To go to the Trident around the seven seas. So deal with the dead. So encounter Senator Amanda Salazar in the ship. So Bob also looked down the strait to the ghost ships to around the oceans. Bob also led them a cruise and stand the ground to show no fear. He stands up. Or Salazar led the Metability to almost to destroy his ship, to attack the ships one last time. And Barbossa yells up there to the mutineers. He says, "Capitan Salazar, I'm here to be looking for Jack Sparrow." And Silent Mary stops his attack on the Queen Anne's Revenge, and they jump down to the ships. He seemingly didn't shot over his ghost in his body there. He had suddenly cursed. Salazar leaped down to his ship. He literally just face to face with Barbossa did. He said his pirate looked like about the privateer for the last year, for 1 year. He tapped his swords by 8 times. As the one who would kill one of the crew. The 2 tapping swords, one of the 2 dudes just killed. Pike just killed by the ghost sailors and the ships, the dying and the board of Queen Anne's Revenge. So 5 tapper times just kill 5 crews for the rest of them. And they were living come aboard back to the Silent Marys, just welcoming there. So Blackbeard's former ship was left abandoned in the middle of the seas, and the wheel on the winded tide was over from the memories from the Blackbeards, and the Queen Anne's Revenge was in the middle of the sea. And Blackbeard has the Fountain of Youth. He died, and Queen Anne's Revenge fate was unknown. He was dragged down to death by Silent Mary. Diango, Henry and Karina and Jack was conversation to Lotto over to sailing through the take about 24 hours per day. So but Jack and his crew was taking Henry Turner to throwing down to the water. He was thinking about how he didn't trust Jack. He was trying to think about it. So I wanted the Pierce and Henry just release on the board the ship. On the night, Jack and Henry learns about his father thing. Was on the deleted scenes, and he pointed his sword for the Jack, and he point pistol his under his belly thing. And tried to put the swords down for no reasons, but he said Sevi, but he can't Sevi. Karina watching to find you over about the Trident to release the power of sea. But it's on that over that time. Thank you so much for coming in, guys. To be continued on, see you guys. So I'm in my sister's room. I'm doing my movie madness today on my sister's room. Bella's not here today. She is in Hawaii. She'll be back until about Thursday. So don't forget to subscribe to my content today, so you can follow on. So Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Google, Find Cameras, Twitch, streaming, Patreon, live stream, gaming challenge, juggy stores, Cocker Story Talk, Tom Allen, Hangouts there, and the links in the description, comments, and likes. And follow on the YouTuber 24 hours after director fan size included to the men and the women's children's and kids and adults and seniors and the kids today. All of you should have to really enjoy your time. So Ferris starts today as no Saturday, but I can't go right now. So but I can't do that. Right? But I can't do that from you guys. So the reason why you could. Also, you have to subscribe to more content today. You can have watch over for Tony Tornado. Here's me, Natha, the Nerder Speaks, Millie Mulder, Logan Paul Vlogs, Jake Paul, McJugger Nuggets, Big Brother, Jordy Star Barger, Kid Behind the Cameras, Bridget Wish, Charlie Chill, I Subscribed, The Angry Grandpa Shows, Charles Green, The Virus First, Raging Gaming, as William, Team Creed, Bo Squad, and Reagan Dad, and all of you. You can have to subscribe. Thank you so much for coming in. Don't forget. So keep it rich, remaining. Thank you so much for coming in. I'm working it for you every day. Every day.